Ride the Bull started about 3 years ago, and it just was kind of a crazy idea, but it's developed into the only extreme kayak fishing event that I know of on the Gulf Coast. Last year we had 170 people from all across the northern Gulf of Mexico, and this year we're shooting to break 200. It's a real simple format. It's kind of, I think, appeals to people. You got Caminada Pass right here, Bridgeside Marina, and probably within 200-yard paddling distance you got access to 25 to 35-pound bull reds, an occasional 40-pound, and we're doing the whole thing out of kayaks. Everybody stays in this area. We got some support boats. We consider a fish caught once it's leadered, so our support boats will come in and help you, and we weigh the fish, we tag the fish, and release the fish. And then we've got a Facebook page that'll update the leaderboard as the day progresses. But it's more than just a one-day event. We encourage people to come in the day before. We have a kind of like a party the night before, and we're going to do a film festival this year with kayak film, video, and it ought to be fun. It's just fun. It's kind of like, I kind of try and keep it like a little Woodstock event. It's not particular to any of the clubs. Want camp owners, anybody who just wants to have a lot of fun, just show up. And the reds are just starting to come in. We're kind of keeping track of how many we're catching on just regular speckled trout trips. And it's easy. Really, all you need is a store-bought redfish rig and a couple of cut mullet from here at Bridgeside, and you're in the game. You go out here, you anchor up in a cluster of kayaks, and there's a lot of bait on the bottom, and a school of reds will find it. And if it's your lucky day, you get to walk away with a new Hobie kayak from the backpacker, plus $20 of the registration money goes into a pot. I look for current in about 12 to 14 feet of water. I don't really fish those the deep channel part. I think the feeding redfish work those perimeters, you know. Of course, the rock jetty is always good too. And there'll be a big cluster at the rock jetty. There's also a hole over here on the Elmer's Island side that on the outgoing tide has a nice little channel built into it.
So Chris, you've you've fished all over the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic Coast, and you've caught some even offshore fish in a kayak, but it still had to be thrilling to catch this red on a day like today, huh?
Absolutely, and like I said, there's nothing like this with the pass right here because it's so easy. You launch, you're fishing within 5 minutes, even less if you want to fish closer to the bridge. It's just a matter of time. The fish are always here. They're in and out of this pass. They're coming in, with the tide, coming in with the bait. You just got to wait them out, get your spot. There are some spots that are better. You find little drop-offs or things like that. But other than that, you get in here, anchor up, wait them out, just like this one. I use the anchor and we hook up, turn loose, and go fight them and go back and get right back to your same spot. All
right, so, Caminada Pass, I know you've done this at least a few times. Do you try and fish on drop-offs and ledges, or what do you look for out here?
I mean, if you could find, a day like today was a little slow. Danny told me to come over here by a spot that does have a little drop-off. Seemed to be a little better. We were just getting hard heads and gaff tops earlier. Got over there, immediately got a shark. By the time I got unhooked, got back to my anchor. First cast back out again, got a red. So certainly today it made a difference. But I've seen other days, you just get all the boats out here, all the bait in the water and stuff, and these schools will come through and it's like somebody turns on a switch, Right. So, and then go either way, go an off switch or an on switch. But when that on switch comes on, it's fantastic.
Right. Good. Now, how long will these bull reds be in the passes here?
They're gonna, they come in through the summer like that, so it's gonna be late all the way into the fall. You'll be able to catch them. And I mean, you can find some year round, but certainly the summer months, starting June starts to pick up, and all through with August really being a prime month, and that's why the Ride the Bull is scheduled for August.
And what is the unique aspect of catching, bull reds, fish this size in a kayak?
I mean, it's just, you're close to the water, you're right there. When you turn loose, you're getting that rod, he's pulling you around, you're fighting the fish, while you're doing it, maneuvering back and forth and stuff. And it's just a unique experience. It's a lot better than standing up in the boat just fighting him. You got a whole lot. It's a lot more intimate, experience with this fish. He's coming up splashing 2 feet from you, and then taking off again and starting over. So.
Right, and I noticed the first thing you did when you hooked up is you untied your anchor, threw it with a buoy into the water, and let the fish.
And let it go. That way, you'll actually fight them faster that way, because not only you drag with your rod, they're actually pulling the kayak too, so you can kind of get them in without totally wearing them out and be able to get them. Most of these fish are going to be released, so you can get a good safe release.
All right, Ride the Bull, August 18th, Caminada Pass out of Bridgeside Marina. Come on down. You don't know how much fun this is. Borrow a kayak if you don't have one, but get on down here, do whatever you can to come fish, ride the bull. We'll see you then.
Get you some.